Captain Marcus Hale was used to routine. Space patrol missions usually meant long hours of watching stars, checking systems, and waiting for something interesting to happen. But today was different. His ship, the Vanguard, cruised quietly near the outer edge of the colony world called Valora 9. It was a rocky planet with thin air, not much for life, but the nearby asteroid belt made it a good place for mining. Marcus liked the quiet. It gave him time to think. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped urgently. Something unusual was nearby, something big and fast falling from the sky. Marcus quickly steered the ship toward the signal. Outside, through the small viewport, he could see a bright flash in the atmosphere. A fiery object was crashing into the jagged cliffs below. Without hesitation, Marcus ordered the ship to land near the crash site. The ground was rough and dusty, but he needed to know what or who was inside that burning wreck. He grabbed his gear and stepped outside. The air was cold and thin, but he was ready. His boots crunched on the gravel as he hurried toward the smoking crater. Inside the crater lay a strange ship. It was unlike anything Marcus had seen before. Its surface shimmered with colors that seemed to change depending on the light. The shape was curved and organic, almost alive. Moving closer, Marcus saw a figure lying near the wreckage. It was a girl, or something like a girl, but she was not human. Her skin glowed softly with a faint blue light. She was thin and fragile, breathing shallowly. She was in trouble. Marcus quickly knelt beside her, checking for signs of life. Her pulse was weak, almost gone. "Help is coming," Marcus whispered, but he knew time was short. He reached into his medical kit, pulling out a portable analyzer. The results came back fast. Her blood was failing, and her body was shutting down. Whatever species she was, her life was in danger. The colony had strict rules about alien contact. No one was supposed to help unknown life forms without permission. It could be dangerous or a trick. But Marcus felt something stronger than rules, a deep urge to save her. He opened a small injector filled with his own blood, specialized, tested for compatibility with other species. It was a rare tool, rarely used, but in emergencies it might help. Marcus hesitated only for a moment. Then carefully, he injected some of his blood into her veins. The girl's eyes fluttered open. They were large and shining with a strange intelligence. For a moment, they looked right into Marcus's soul. Suddenly, the glowing on her skin grew brighter, spreading like waves of light. Marcus felt a warmth spreading through his body, starting at the spot where he had given his blood and moving through his veins. The girl's breathing steadied. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. Instead, a strange feeling filled Marcus's mind, a soft, quiet voice that was not spoken but felt deep inside him. "Thank you," the thought came, clear and pure. Marcus smiled. "You're safe now. We'll get you help." The girl looked around, confused but alert. She tried to stand but faltered. Marcus held her gently. "Can you tell me your name?" he asked. She paused. Then, in his mind, the answer came. Not in words, but feelings and images. Her name was Lyra. Her people had been explorers once traveling between stars. But now she was the last of her kind, lost and dying. Marcus's heart ached. "I won't let you die," he said firmly. "We'll find a way." As he helped her to his ship, Marcus noticed that the bond between them was growing stronger. The warmth in his chest was not just from the blood. It was something more. Something alive. Back on the Vanguard, Marcus prepared medical equipment and scanned Lyra's body. She was healing fast, faster than any alien he had ever met. He watched her closely. The glowing on her skin pulsed gently, matching the rhythm of her new heartbeat. Suddenly, the ship's alarm beeped. Marcus looked at the screen. A message flashed from the colony's command center. "Unauthorized alien life detected. Return immediately for quarantine." Marcus frowned. He knew what this meant. They might take Lyra away, study her, or worse, destroy her. But Marcus was not about to give up. He looked at Lyra, who was now resting quietly, and made a decision. No, he said aloud. "I'm not handing you over. You deserve a chance." The warm feeling inside him grew stronger. Marcus understood that this was just the beginning. Helping Lyra might change everything, not just for them, but for all humanity. As the Vanguard prepared for takeoff, Marcus felt hope for the first time in a long while. Somewhere out there, beyond the stars, a new friendship had begun. The Vanguard rose gently from the rocky ground, leaving the smoking crater behind. Captain Marcus Hale sat near the control panel, watching Lyra carefully. The strange alien girl rested on a medical bed, her faint blue glow pulsing softly in the dim light of the ship's cabin. Marcus felt a strange mix of emotions: curiosity, hope, and a bit of worry. Who was she? Where had she come from? And how? Was his blood helping her heal so quickly? Lyra's breathing had become steady, but her eyes remained closed. Marcus leaned closer, scanning her vital signs. Everything was improving, yet something unusual was happening inside her body. Suddenly, the soft glow around her grew brighter and spread over her skin like a gentle wave. Marcus blinked, surprised. The light wasn't just a sign of healing, it was something else, something alive. The ship's sensors picked up changes too. Her body temperature rose slightly, and energy readings around her increased. Marcus rubbed his chin thoughtfully. The bond formed by his blood was activating in a way he hadn't expected. Just then, Lyra's eyes opened. They were large and shining with a clear light that seemed to look deep into Marcus's own mind. He felt a rush of warmth and calm wash over him, as if her gaze was reaching inside to understand him. Marcus smiled softly. "You're awake," he said. Lyra tried to speak, but no sound came out. Instead, Marcus heard a voice, not with his ears, but inside his head. It was gentle and musical, filled with gratitude. "Thank you," the voice said, clear and calm. "Your gift has saved me." Marcus was amazed. He realized she was communicating telepathically, a way of sharing thoughts without speaking. It was a new experience for him, but somehow it felt natural. "Who are you?" Marcus asked, still speaking out loud. "I am Lyra," the voice replied. "My people traveled the stars, but we are few now. I carry our hope." Marcus nodded slowly. He felt honored to meet someone so rare and special. "We will help you," he promised. Lyra's glow changed again, flickering in colors Marcus had never seen before. The light seemed to flow like water over her skin, and Marcus felt an odd sensation in his own body, a warmth that spread from his chest to his fingers. He touched his arm, surprised to feel a faint pulse of energy there. It was as if part of her was now inside him, sharing strength and life. Lyra's telepathic voice returned, gentle but excited. "The bond grows stronger. Your blood carries a power that connects us." Marcus leaned back in his chair, trying to understand. "A power? What kind of power?" "It is the energy of life itself," Lyra said. "It allows us to share more than thoughts. Soon, you will feel what I feel." Marcus's heart raced. The idea was both thrilling and a little frightening. Suddenly, his senses sharpened. He noticed sounds in the ship he hadn't heard before. The soft hum of the engines, the distant buzz of electrical circuits, even the faint rustle of his own clothing. His vision seemed clearer, colors brighter. A simple beep from the control panel now felt like music. Marcus looked at Lyra, who smiled faintly. Though her words were silent, he understood the meaning perfectly. "This is my gift to you." Hours passed as the bond grew. Marcus and Lyra shared moments of quiet understanding, their minds touching in ways words could never explain. Marcus began to sense her feelings, her hope, her fear, and the deep loneliness of being the last of her kind. At the same time, Lyra experienced Marcus's emotions, his courage, his determination, and his kindness. The connection was a bridge between two very different beings. But this gift was more than feelings. Marcus found himself stronger and faster, his reflexes sharper. During a quick test, he caught a falling tool without thinking, his movements almost automatic. Lyra watched him with curiosity. Your people have great potential. The bond awakens it. Marcus smiled. Looks like you gave me more than just a thank you. Lyra's glow brightened, almost playfully. The peaceful moment was broken by a sudden alert from the ship's computer. The message from the colony command center had returned, more urgent this time. Captain Hale, return immediately. Unauthorized, alien life aboard Vanguard, quarantine measures enforced. Marcus frowned. The colony's strict rules meant that Lyra was not safe, not with the authorities. He felt a surge of protectiveness. We can't go back, Marcus said firmly. Not yet. I need to find out more about her, and what this bond really means. Lyra's voice filled his mind again, calm but serious. There is danger coming. Others want to take me, because of my power. Marcus nodded. Then we'll face it together. He plotted a course away from Valora 9, toward a nearby system where old explorers and scientists gathered. Maybe they would understand the bond and help protect Lyra. As the stars streaked by outside the viewport, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. The bond with Lyra was more than healing. It was a new beginning. Together, they were no longer just a man and an alien girl. They were connected in ways that could change everything. The adventure was just beginning. The Vanguard sailed smoothly through the silent stars as Captain Marcus Hale and Lyra traveled farther from Valora 9. The bond between them grew stronger every hour, connecting not only their minds but their very beings in ways Marcus was just beginning to understand. Lyra rested quietly on the medical bed, her blue glow now steady and soft. Marcus watched her closely, noticing how her breathing was calm and even. She looked peaceful, but he knew there was more beneath the surface, something powerful waiting to be shared. Suddenly, Marcus felt a warm pulse in his chest. The same warmth he had felt when he first gave her his blood. It was stronger now, spreading through his body like gentle waves. Lyra's voice entered his mind softly, like a breeze. I have something to share with you, she said, a gift from my people. Marcus sat up, intrigued. A gift? Yes, she answered. A way to connect deeper, to feel and understand. Without warning, a strange sensation filled Marcus's head. It was like a gentle touch on his thoughts, opening doors inside his mind. Images and feelings rushed in, colors, sounds, emotions, all vivid and new. He gasped as the world around him seemed to change. Suddenly, Marcus could sense the faintest details, the hum of the ship's engines, the steady beat of his own heart, even the soft whisper of air moving through the vents. It was as if his senses had been sharpened beyond human limits. Lyra's voice smiled inside his mind. This is the pleasure of understanding, the joy of connection. Marcus blinked, amazed. He looked at her, feeling something he couldn't fully explain, a deep happiness, as if they were sharing a secret language. Can you teach me more? Marcus asked. Yes, she said. The bond we share allows us to feel each other's emotions, thoughts, and even sensations. It is a gift of trust and friendship. Marcus reached out, touching her hand gently. Their fingers met, and a warm energy passed, between them stronger than before. Suddenly, Marcus felt a rush of excitement like the thrill of a high-speed chase, but calm and joyful. At the same time, Lyra experienced his steady courage and determination. They were sharing more than thoughts now. They were sharing feelings, memories, and hopes. Marcus smiled, feeling a lightness in his heart. The bond was no longer just about survival. It was about connection, friendship, and new possibilities. He looked out the viewport at the stars, feeling a new sense of purpose. We're not just two strangers anymore, he said quietly. We're partners. Lyra's glow brightened in response. Together we can face anything. As the Vanguard traveled deeper into space, Marcus spent hours learning from Lyra. She showed him how the bond could sharpen his senses, how he could hear quieter sounds, see more clearly, and even feel the energy around them. Marcus practiced, focusing on his new abilities. He could detect subtle changes in the ship's environment and react faster than ever before. One afternoon, as he walked through the ship's corridors, Marcus stopped to test his reflexes. A small tool slipped from a shelf, falling quickly. Without thinking, Marcus caught it with ease. The pleasure of the quick action filled him with confidence. Lyra watched from the medical bay, smiling silently. "Your people have great potential," she said. "This bond awakens what is inside you." Marcus nodded. "It feels like I'm becoming more than human." "We are all more than we believe," Lyra replied. "Together, we unlock new strengths." But the gift was not just physical. Marcus found he could share peaceful moments with Lyra like never before. When she felt scared or lonely, he could comfort her with just a thought. When he was tired or stressed, she sent him calm waves of peace. The bond was a bridge, building trust between two very different beings. One evening, as the ship floated, in silence, Marcus sat beside Lyra's bed. He reached out and touched her hand. "Thank you," he said softly, "for trusting me." Lyra's voice was gentle in his mind. "Thank you, Marcus, for saving me, for sharing your blood, your life, and now your spirit." Marcus smiled, feeling the warmth grow stronger. The gift she had given him was more than a link between minds. It was a promise of friendship and hope. But outside the peaceful moments, danger was still near. The colony's warning remained in Marcus's thoughts. Authorities would not stop searching for Lyra. Some would want to capture her for study, others for power. Marcus tightened his grip on the controls. "We have to keep moving," he said firmly. Lyra's voice was steady but serious. "Yes, we must find those who will help, not harm." Marcus plotted a course to an old scientific outpost known for welcoming explorers and new ideas. Maybe there, they could learn more about the bond and find safety. As the stars streaked by outside, Marcus felt a new strength inside himself. The gift was real and it was changing him. Together with Lyra, he was ready for whatever came next. The Vanguard sped through space, heading toward the distant outpost of Astra Prime. Captain Marcus Hale sat at the controls, eyes sharp and mind alert. Lyra rested nearby, her soft blue glow a calm light in the ship's dim cabin. But despite the peaceful moment, Marcus could feel danger closing in. The colony's message was clear. Authorities were searching for Lyra. They wanted to capture her. For what, Marcus didn't fully know, but he could imagine the worst. Scientists might study her like an object. Others might see her as a threat and try to destroy her. He refused to let that happen. "Lyra," Marcus said quietly, "we need to prepare. They won't give up." Lyra opened her eyes, meeting his gaze. "I understand," she replied in his mind. "They fear what they do not know." Marcus nodded. Fear often made people dangerous, but he also knew that together, they were stronger. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped loudly. A fast-moving object appeared on the scanner. A patrol ship from Valora 9. "They found us," Marcus said. His hand moved quickly to the comms. "Prepare to evade." The Vanguard shook as the patrol ship fired warning shots. Marcus's heart pounded, but his reflexes were sharp. Thanks to the bond with Lyra, he could sense the enemy's moves before they happened. He pushed the controls, twisting the ship through narrow asteroid fields. The patrol ship struggled to follow. Lyra's voice came softly. "You are doing well. Trust your instincts." Marcus felt the warmth of her presence inside his mind. It steadied him, even as the chase grew intense. The patrol ship fired again, this time closer. The Vanguard shuddered, but Marcus kept control. He pushed the ship to its limits, weaving through space debris. Suddenly, the patrol ship sent a warning message. "Surrender the alien life form. Resistance will not be tolerated." Marcus's jaw tightened. "We're not giving her up," he said firmly. He activated the ship's defense systems, a series of energy shields and countermeasures designed to protect against attacks. The shields flared, absorbing the next burst of fire. The chase continued, dangerous and fast. Marcus relied on the bond with Lyra to anticipate the enemy's moves, their minds linked in perfect harmony. At one point, Marcus felt a sharp pain in his chest, the strange warmth shifting into a warning. Lyra's mind sent an image, a hidden trap ahead. Without hesitation, Marcus veered sharply, avoiding an ambush of automated drones waiting to capture them. "Good call," he said, breathing hard. "You saved us." Lyra's voice was gentle, but firm. "We must be careful. Many will try to take me." Marcus glanced at her, determination burning in his eyes. "Then we'll fight. Together." The Vanguard finally broke free from the pursuing ship, disappearing into the darkness of an uncharted nebula. Marcus took a moment to steady his breath, then turned to Lyra. "How are you holding up?" he asked. Her eyes shone with quiet strength. "Stronger because of you." Marcus smiled, feeling the bond between them grow even deeper. But the danger was not over. Marcus knew their journey had just begun. Others would come. Hunters, soldiers, and those who feared what they did not understand. He looked out the viewport at the swirling colors of the nebula and made a silent promise. "No one will take you from me," he said. "Not while I breathe." Lyra's glow pulsed warmly. "Together we will find safety. Together we will survive." Marcus nodded. "And maybe one day we'll find a place where you belong." As the Vanguard moved deeper into the unknown, Marcus felt hope. The bond with Lyra was their greatest strength, a connection that gave them courage and power. The stars ahead were many and mysterious. But Marcus was ready to face whatever came next, because now he wasn't just a captain alone in space. He was a protector. The Vanguard drifted quietly into the star system of Astra Prime. It was an old outpost known as a haven for explorers, scientists, and those who believed in the future of peaceful cooperation between species. Captain Marcus Hale hoped it would be a place where he and Lyra could find answers and safety. As the ship approached the station, Marcus prepared to dock. He glanced at Lyra, who was sitting up now, her glow steady and calm. The bond between them felt stronger than ever, like an invisible thread connecting their hearts and minds. "Almost there," Marcus said softly. Lyra nodded, her eyes bright. "I am ready." The docking clamps locked the Vanguard securely to the station. Marcus stepped out first, wearing his standard explorer suit. The station was busy but peaceful. Ships of many shapes and colors moved around, and people of different species walked the corridors. Marcus felt a sense of relief. Maybe here they could find help. He led Lyra through the crowds carefully, aware that some eyes were curious, some wary, but no one stopped them. Their first stop was the Science Council's main chamber, where a group of scientists and diplomats awaited. Among them was Dr. Alara Mins, a human expert in alien biology who had spent years studying unknown species. Marcus explained Lyra's story, how he found her near death, how he gave her blood, and the strange bond that had formed between them. Dr. Mins listened carefully, her eyes wide with interest. "Fascinating," she said. "If what you say is true, this bond could change everything we know about life and connection." Lyra's glow pulsed softly as she sent a thought to Marcus. "They are kind. They want to understand." Dr. Mins nodded. "We want to help, but first we need to learn more about your species and this bond you share." Marcus looked at Lyra. "Are you willing?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Yes, this is hope." The scientists began tests, not painful or harsh, but careful and respectful. Marcus stayed by Lyra's side, feeling the warmth of the bond steady between them. Days passed, and the bond showed more wonders. Marcus found he could share memories with Lyra, seeing flashes of her homeworld, a beautiful place of glowing forests and starry skies. She saw parts of his life too, the quiet moments as a child, the training that made him a captain. The connection was like a bridge between worlds. One evening, as the station's artificial sun set, Dr. Minns approached Marcus quietly. "We believe the bond unlocks hidden abilities in both of you," she said. "Your blood carries something unique, and Lyra's species has a natural gift for connection. Together you awaken potential neither of you had before." Marcus nodded. "So this is more than healing?" "Yes, it's evolution, an opportunity for growth and understanding between species." Lyra's voice touched Marcus's mind. "This bond is not just for us. It is for all who seek peace." As word of their story spread through the station, a small group gathered around Marcus and Lyra. Explorers, scientists, and diplomats, those who believed in unity and hope. Among them was Tarek, a skilled pilot and former soldier. He looked at Marcus and said, "If you're heading into danger, you'll need allies. I'm with you." Marcus smiled, grateful. "Welcome aboard." The alliance grew, bringing strength and knowledge. Together they planned how to protect Lyra and unlock the full power of the bond, but not all were pleased. Hidden eyes watched from the shadows, those who feared change and sought control. Marcus knew their enemies were still out there, waiting for a chance to strike. Still, with new friends and a growing bond, Marcus felt stronger than ever. He looked at Lyra, her glow shining softly in the quiet room. "Together," he said, "we can face anything." Lyra reached out, touching his hand. "Together, we are more." The stars beyond the station shone bright with promise. A new chapter had begun, not just for Marcus and Lyra, but for all who dreamed of a better future. Days passed aboard the Vanguard and at Astra Prime. But the bond between Marcus and Lyra grew stronger every moment. It was more than a connection. It was a living, breathing force that linked their minds and hearts. But with this new strength came challenges neither of them expected. Marcus noticed something strange happening inside him. The feelings and emotions from Lyra often flooded his mind, sometimes gently, other times like a tidal wave. At times he struggled to keep his own thoughts clear. One afternoon, while training, in the ship's simulator, Marcus found his movement slower, his mind clouded. Images of Lyra's memories, her homeworld's glowing forests, the faces of her lost people, swirled in his mind. He shook his head, trying to focus. "I can't let this distract me," he muttered. But the bond was strong and it pulled at him constantly. Lyra, too, felt the struggle. Though she was grateful for the bond that saved her life, she often wrestled with her own fears and doubts. She had lived through loss and loneliness, and now sharing everything with Marcus left her feeling exposed and vulnerable. One evening, as the Vanguard floated quietly near Astra Prime, Marcus sat beside Lyra in the small medical bay. Her soft glow flickered with uncertainty. "I feel like I'm losing myself," Marcus admitted quietly. "Sometimes your thoughts and feelings are so strong. I'm not sure where I end and you begin." Lyra reached out and gently touched his arm. "I feel the same," she replied. "But we must learn to balance. The bond is a gift, but it must not take over." Marcus nodded, grateful for her honesty. "How do we do that?" "By trusting each other," Lyra said. "By knowing when to share and when to hold back." They spent hours talking, not with words but through their bond, sharing hopes, fears, and memories. Marcus showed Lyra the peaceful moments of his childhood, the quiet times when he found strength in solitude. Lyra shared stories of her people's ancient wisdom and their deep respect for life. The bond was teaching them not just how to connect, but how to respect each other's boundaries. But the struggle was far from over. One night Marcus awoke suddenly, heart pounding. In his mind he saw visions of danger, ships closing in, weapons ready. He knew it wasn't a dream. Lyra's voice was urgent in his thoughts. "They are coming. We must prepare." Marcus sprang into action, alerting their allies on Astra Prime. The group scrambled to ready defenses and plan their next move. As the threat grew closer, Marcus realized the bond was their greatest weapon and their greatest risk. During the tense hours before the battle, Marcus and Lyra trained together, pushing their minds and bodies to new limits. The bond sharpened their senses, allowing them to anticipate attacks and move with speed and precision. But the connection also forced them to face their deepest fears. Marcus felt the pain of Lyra's losses. Lyra felt the weight of Marcus's responsibility. In those moments, they understood that the bond was more than power. It was trust, sacrifice, and hope. When the enemy finally arrived, a fleet of dark ships appeared near Astra Prime's orbit. Marcus and Lyra stood side by side on the command deck. The battle was fierce. Energy blasts lit up the blackness of space. The Vanguard and its allies fought bravely against overwhelming odds. Thanks to the bond, Marcus could anticipate enemy moves with almost impossible speed. Lyra's glowing form became a beacon of strength, her connection to Marcus guiding their allies through the chaos. Together, they turned the tide. After hours of fighting, the enemy retreated, leaving the stars quiet once more. Marcus sank into his chair, exhausted, but alive. He looked at Lyra, her glow steady and proud. "We did it," he said, smiling. Lyra smiled back. "Because we faced it together. The battle had tested them, but it had also shown them the true power of their bond. They were no longer just two individuals. They were a force, a symbol of hope for a future where different species could unite and grow stronger." As the stars shone brightly beyond the viewport, Marcus felt a new certainty. No matter what came next, he and Lyra would face it side by side. Because the greatest strength was not in power alone. It was in trust, friendship, and the courage to stand together. The battle had passed. Astra Prime's skies were calm again, and the stars shone brightly over the peaceful station. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the observation deck of the Vanguard, watching the distant lights of the outpost below. Beside him, Lyra's soft blue glow filled the room with warmth and hope. Their journey had been long and difficult. From a chance encounter on a rocky planet to a bond that changed them both, Marcus and Lyra had faced dangers and discoveries together. Now, standing at the edge of a new chapter, they felt the promise of something greater. Marcus turned to Lyra. "We've come far. But what happens now?" Lyra smiled gently, her eyes shining with quiet strength. "Now, we build. We create a future where others like me can live without fear." Marcus nodded. He knew the road ahead would not be easy. There were still many who feared the unknown, who wanted to control or destroy what they didn't understand. But he believed in the power of the bond they shared, and in the courage of those who stood with them. Together, they had inspired a small but growing alliance, explorers, scientists, diplomats, who believed in peace and unity between species. Marcus felt proud to be part of something bigger than himself. One morning, the Council of Astra Prime gathered in the Great Hall to discuss the next steps. Leaders from many worlds came to listen to Marcus and Lyra's story, to learn about the bond and its meaning. Marcus spoke clearly and honestly. "This bond is more than a connection between two beings. It is a bridge between worlds. It shows us that despite our differences, we can share strength, understanding, and hope." Lyra's voice echoed in the minds of those present. "Together, we can create a galaxy where every life is valued, where every species can thrive." The council was moved. Plans were made to protect Lyra's people, to search for others like her, and to study the bond to unlock its full potential. Marcus and Lyra became symbols of a new era, a time when humans and aliens would no longer be strangers, but friends and allies. Back on the Vanguard, Marcus and Lyra shared a quiet moment. The bond that connected them pulsed gently, a reminder of all they had faced and all they had yet to do. Marcus looked at Lyra and smiled. "Thank you for trusting me." Lyra reached out and took his hand. "Thank you for saving me." Together, they looked out at the stars, bright, endless, full of promise. The galaxy was vast, filled with mysteries and wonders. But now, Marcus and Lyra knew they were not alone. With their bond, with their friends, they could face anything. A new dawn had come, and with it, a hope that shone brighter than any star.